Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from February 8th from Outkick. And this is the time I'm recording this is a couple days after Joe Biden's just awful his speech after that report that came out that said he's mentally unfit. He's essentially functionally impaired. And then he came out and did a press conference and was like, no, I'm not, and completely just proved the fact that yes, he in fact is. So the heading of this article says, the headline says, Joe Biden's memory is so bad he can't remember when he was vice president. I'd say that's a pretty bad thing. So make sure this video doesn't play. You don't need that interrupting what I'm saying. So let's just get right into it here. It says Thursday brought the release of a special counsel report on President Joe Biden and his handling of classified documents after leaving the vice presidency. And boy, oh boy, was it a disaster for Biden and his political allies in the media. And yeah, I'll have another video coming out within the next few days that shows or sheds a little light on that as well. But I think everybody gets the point already that the media, especially the MSNBCs and CNNs of the world, have been running massive interference for the man for a few years now, as it turns out. Says the report went into detail on Biden's conversations with investigators and revealed just how senile the 81-year-old has become, noting that he failed to remember key dates from his personal or professional life. And I think we already know that, given the fact that he can't even remember when his older son passed away, or I shouldn't say when, but where or what he died from. Story keeps changing. Pretty soon he's probably going to say Bo died in the Revolutionary War or something like that. Says not to mention perhaps the most damning conclusion that Biden is so mentally unfit that his lack of memory would be used in his defense at a potential trial. Says the special counsel did not mention how it's acceptable for Biden to use his rapidly declining mental faculties as a type of get out of jail free card when it comes to possible crimes, but is still somehow fit to serve as leader of the free world. Yeah, that was one of the things. Go read the report because it was basically like, yeah, he definitely has some form of dementia. Like, he didn't say that directly, but it's like this man has like pretty strong mental health issues or memory issues. I should say memory issues, not mental health issues, but like memory issues. But no, he can still be president. Like, what? Like, the man has the keys to the nuclear codes, and we're all cool with this? Going on here. Says passages taken directly from the report are damning, horrifying, embarrassing, and frightening, and in some cases extremely sad. And yeah, I'd have to say it is sad too because he's being propped up. He's essentially like he's not running the country, folks. Let's face it. We have like a just I don't know, like a was a military. What's that word? The JUNTA that I can't ever pronounce. Is it junta? Junta? I don't know. Let me know. But one of those. That's probably what's running the country. Is some form of that. Anyway, says Joe Biden's senility continues to get worse. Says there's no other way to say it. The special counsel's written report, is jaw dropping. Says Mr. Biden's memory also appeared to have significant limitations, both at the time he spoke to Zwanitzer in 2017, as evidenced by the recorded conversations, and today as evidenced by his recorded interview with her office. Mr. Biden's recorded conversations with Zwanitzer from 2017 are often painfully slow, with Mr. Biden struggling to remember events and straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries, it reads. And I didn't read the actual report, so I'm guessing those Wanitzer is one of the lawyers that was interviewing him about something back in 2017. But I mean, keep in mind this is 2017. They're saying that he was having severe memory issues, and he was being propped up to be president in 2020. So they knew this already. They knew that he was going to have these issues, and they're just like, nope, still going to push him through. And then when people point it out, they're just like, oh, well, he's always been like that and stupid crap. But anyway, says, and of course, this next sentence says essentially what I just said. It says, and that was 7 years ago, and his memory hasn't gotten better. Yeah, that's not something that happens. Once you have this, it's not like you're suddenly going to somehow get better from it. It's downhill, and there's no way to reverse it. It says, in his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended. And I guess this is a quote from Biden saying, if it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president? It says, and then forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. And then another quote from him says, in 2009, am I still vice president? He did not remember, even within several years, when his son Bo died, they wrote. And you can see that he goes out there all the time and talks about how Bo died of like in Iraq. And I was like, no, he died of brain cancer. It was sad. Okay. Like, I don't wish that on anybody. And the guy was younger than I am now. And he died of brain cancer. So he wasn't a war hero. He served, but he was not like some war hero that died on the battlefield. He died at Walter Reed Hospital. You can go look at Okay. So again, sad, but say, trying to use your son's name for like some sort of stolen valor sort of thing just ain't cool, man. It says, did I finish that? Yeah, I did. Okay, that paragraph. It says, how sad is it that the leader of the family can't remember when his son died? Yeah, I would agree that that's a pretty sad thing. It says, and his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl Eichenberry when, in fact, Eichenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden knew he had possession of the classified Afghanistan documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents, knowing he was violating the law, we expect that at trial his attorneys would emphasize these limitations in his recall. Says the investigators believe that Biden is so senile and so unable to remember, well, anything, that his lawyers would tell a jury that he wasn't even mentally aware that he had possession of classified documents or that such possession was illegal. That's not even an interpretation. They literally said that, which is true. I saw that part of it. It's bad. Says, we've also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well meaning elderly man with a poor memory, they wrote. So it would be unbelievable if this hadn't been glaringly obvious for years to anyone outside of left wing media outlets, right? And I'd say that a lot of them are to blame for what's going on with him because they just kept propping him up. And yeah, you know, like we knew this, we pointed it out, and then they'd give us hell for pointing that out. It says dangerous lack of mental faculties, which you could probably argue that he had before then, just because he was never the smartest dude. But anyway, I I jest. Because the council's report doesn't even attempt to sugarcoat just how bad Biden's mental capacity or capability actually is. It says Mr. Biden's apparent lapses and failures in February and April 2017 will likely appear consistent with the diminished faculties and faulty memory he showed in Zwanitzer's interview recordings and in our interview of him, it reads. Says this is a report commissioned by Biden's own Department of Justice and it clearly states, repeatedly and with specific examples, how his diminished faculties are glaringly obvious. How is this acceptable for the President of the United States? Among the many other issues, it presents a clear and present danger to the safety and security of the country, and I'd even go as far as saying the world, which it looks like that's what the next sentence says as well, says, and by virtue of the U.S.'s importance on the global stage, the world as well. Yeah, wholly agree with that. Says it's horrifying that he can't remember something as simple as when he was vice president. It's extremely sad and frightening that he can't remember within a range of years when his son died. It's damning that the best defense the special counsel offered for Biden is that he's mentally unfit to be held responsible for his crimes and mistakes. And it's embarrassing for the Democratic Party that there's no willingness to acknowledge or deal with the reality of Biden's mental decline. If Biden cared about the future of the country, he'd announce his resignation or intention to sit out the 2024 election. But then again, at this point, maybe he doesn't even remember that he's a sitting president. Yeah, I would argue that that's probably the case. And I don't know if like we want him to announce his resignation because that means a certain cackling moron is going to be president, and she is definitely not going to be better at this than him. And he sucks, and she's even worse. And but I think he should probably bow out of the next election. Just for his own sake. I mean, if he wants to go ahead and run, well, that's I don't think he's really going to be the one choosing to make him run. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Have you read any of this stuff? Or did you see the press conference afterwards? Let me know what you think about all of that stuff and what you think about what's going to happen over the next few months as we head up on towards the election. Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.